Every living cell is constantly hungry and constantly producing waste. To stay alive, a cell needs a continuous supply of oxygen and nutrients, and a reliable way to flush out toxic byproducts. If you're a simple organism like a sponge, you can pull what you need straight from the water around you. But the human body is massive and dense. Trillions of our cells are buried deep inside tissues, completely cut off from the outside world. Those deep tissue cells can't wait around for oxygen to slowly seep in from the skin. They require an internal, high-speed delivery network that can bridge the distance between our lungs and digestive tract and the furthest reaches of our extremities. Vertebrates solved this massive logistical challenge by evolving a closed network of biological pipes, endlessly pumping a highly specialized fluid cargo to every corner of the body. If we spin a sample of that fluid down, we see exactly how this cargo is organized. The top 55% is a straw-colored liquid called plasma. This fluid matrix is mostly water, and it acts as the primary transit system for proteins, minerals, and glucose traveling to starving tissues. The remaining 45% consists of the formed elements. You have red blood cells packed with iron to ferry oxygen, white blood cells acting as a mobile immune defense, and platelets ready to trigger rapid clotting the moment a pipe springs a leak. But blood vessels don't touch every single cell directly. As blood flows through tiny capillaries, water and small soluble substances leak out into the spaces between cells. An entirely separate network, the lymphatic system, collects this clear tissue fluid, known as lymph, and drains it back into the main veins. Yet all of this fluid, with its specialized cells and life-saving proteins, is entirely useless if it is sitting still. Pushing it through miles of microscopic resistance requires a relentlessly powerful engine. Sitting right in the middle of the thoracic cavity is that engine. The human heart is a mesodermally derived organ with 4 distinct chambers, 2 smaller atria on top to receive fluid, and 2 larger, thick-walled ventricles below to pump it out, separated by a thick muscular wall called a septum. Unlike your skeletal muscles, which wait for commands from your brain, the heart is myogenic. It generates its own electrical action potentials using a specialized patch of tissue in the upper right atrium called the sinoatrial node. This node fires off an electrical signal 70 to 75 times every single minute. It acts as the body's natural pacemaker, dictating the exact rhythm of your pulse without you ever having to think about it. That automatic electrical spark is the biological trigger. The moment the signal fires, the muscle responds, setting off a highly synchronized mechanical cycle. The entire mechanical sequence, a single cardiac cycle, takes just 0.8 seconds. It starts with both atria contracting simultaneously, an action called atrial systole, which forces a rapid surge of blood down into the relaxed ventricles. Then, the massive ventricular muscles squeeze. This extreme spike in pressure slams the tricuspid and bicuspid valves shut, creating the first heavy heart sound, the lub. As the ventricles relax a fraction of a second later, the exit valves snap shut to prevent backflow, creating the second sound, the dub. Doctors track the exact timing of this cycle using an electrocardiogram. An ECG graph traces the electrical waves of the heart, the P wave showing the atria firing, the massive QRS complex marking the ventricular contraction, and the T wave signaling the reset. Because each ventricle pushes out about 70 milliliters of fluid per beat, this relentless loop guarantees an output of 5 liters of blood every minute, effectively cycling your entire blood volume in 60 seconds. To manage all that volume efficiently, birds and mammals utilize a double circulation system. It ensures that the oxygen-rich blood heading to the body never mixes with the oxygen-poor blood returning from the tissues. The right ventricle pumps deoxygenated blood strictly into the pulmonary artery, sending it up to the lungs. Once it absorbs fresh oxygen, it rides the pulmonary veins back down into the left atrium. Meanwhile, the left ventricle blasts that freshly oxygenated blood into the aorta. It travels through a sprawling network of arteries and tiny capillaries to feed every tissue in the body, before the deoxygenated fluid is collected by the vena cava and returned to the right atrium. This strict 2-lane separation ensures the body receives a highly concentrated supply of oxygen. That constant, undiluted fuel source allows humans to maintain high metabolic rates and power a massive, energy-hungry brain. Because blood is forced through thousands of miles of closed tubing under continuous pressure, the entire network is highly vulnerable. If the internal pathways stiffen or lose their elasticity, mechanical strain ripples through the whole body. In coronary artery disease, deposits of calcium, fat, and cholesterol build up inside the vessels feeding the heart muscle itself. As the lumen narrows, the struggling muscle is starved of oxygen, triggering the acute chest pain known as angina. If the resting pressure in the system consistently reads higher than 140/90, a person has hypertension. This sustained high pressure slowly damages delicate pipes, particularly the fragile capillary networks inside the brain and kidneys. And if the mechanical pump itself begins to weaken, it leads to heart failure. The ventricles lose their ability to push blood effectively, causing fluid to back up and dangerously congest the lungs. When deposits build up or pressure spikes, the machinery breaks. Most cardiovascular diseases are direct physical failures of the body's internal plumbing and pressure regulation systems. From the first weeks in the womb to the final moments of life, this system never stops. A flawless 0.8-second cycle, driving 5 liters of complex cellular fluid through 2 perfectly isolated loops. The human circulatory network is a self-regulating, high-pressure biological machine. It silently bridges the gap between the outside world and our deepest tissues, making every human action and every human thought possible.